Welcome one and welcome all to Big 17, Florida, where predictions is my addiction and money is my company. And a couple days ago, I was strolling on YouTube, drinking pickle juice, the usual normal stuff, and I came across a UFC fight interview, press conference, whatever they're called, honestly. I have no clue what they're called. And I'm sure you guys saw the video, but basically, Ilia Topuria and Josh Hokit started going at it. Ilia Topuria threw something at him. It was a whole thing. You know what I'm saying? And in the midst of this altercation, I was hit with a stroke of genius. You see, this idea, this ingenious idea that hit me was Ilia Topuria versus Josh Hokit. Who would come out victorious? Now, enough rambling, and I'm going to get to the facts, okay? First, before I get into this video, I got to ask you guys to like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so you guys can stay tuned. Stay tuned, you know what I'm saying? So we can watch terrorists of the sport like Bilal Muhammad blow up into millions of little pieces. okay, I don't even know what I'm talking about right now. But basically, we're just going to get into the facts, okay? So basically, we got a guy who couldn't make it in the NFL versus death itself. Possibly the greatest fighter to ever step into the Octagon. The guy who knocked out cold some of the greatest fighters to see the sport, okay? The guy who predicted he'd knock out cold Max Holloway and former champions Charles Oliveira and GOAT of the featherweight division, Volkanovski, okay? And people tried saying Volkanovski was washed. Oh, Volkanovski's washed. Volkanovski's old. But see, that was proven false. That was proven very, very, very false. When Volkanovski came back to beat Diego Lopez in a 5-rounder and claimed back the belt and is to this day the champion of the featherweight division, and beating good fighters like Jaw Herbert, Josh Emmett, and Bryce Mitchell, Yusuf Zalal, and Ryan Hall, bro. He is literally MMA Thanos. He is quite literally MMA Thanos. The guy, this meme I have on the screen right here, this is probably the most accurate way of describing this man right here, okay? He is MMA Thanos, and he killed the Avengers. This guy is MMA Thanos and he killed the Avengers. The only guy he hasn't fought yet is Armin Sarukian, and we all know Uncle Dana's never letting this guy fight ever again in the UFC. And Islam Makhachev, who arguably ran away to welterweight to not fight the guy. Then Ilia Topuria became the champ of the lightweight division, making history as one of the only doubleweight champions. Okay? And that's crazy. That is actually insane. But to be fair, Josh Hokit isn't a chump either. He is, after all, an ex-NFL player, okay? He's fast, he's athletic, he's strong, he's girthy, okay? He has power. And like Ilia, he is small for his division, okay? At only 6'1", 233 pounds versus way bigger opponents in his weight class. For example, Tom Aspinall, the current champion of the division, is 6'5", 255 pounds. I mean, that's insane, okay? And Cyril Gahn, who's like 6'4", 260. And the guy Curtis Blades, the dude he just fought, is 6'4", 260. Okay? Derek Lewis, the guy he's about to fight at the White House, is 6'3", 266. This guy has to cut weight to fit in heavyweight. He's fighting against monsters, okay? As a little guy comparably. And he's not just holding his own. He's dominating his competition. Even though the heavyweight division is slop, you cannot deny this guy has skill, okay? Now, with all that said, let's get into why Ilia Topuria, even as a small man, is still extremely dangerous. And what advantages does this guy have in this hypothetical fight, okay? For one, he's Georgian. I think being from that region automatically gives you some sort of genetic advantage, like some superhero serum, super soldier serum, like Captain America or something. I don't know, but that has to give him some advantage and to experience. Okay, he's been a wrestler since he was a whippersnapper, and if you guys didn't know, because of how pristine his boxing is, this guy actually did start off as a wrestler. You know what I'm saying? His base is wrestling. If you look at his older fight footage, you can see that he relies heavily on this wrestling. Okay, he actually showed off some of this grappling advantage against fighters like Charles Oliveira and against Josh Emmett. Okay, in some ways, his grappling actually sets up his boxing, allowing him to stand so heavily on his lead leg. His guard works so well with his overall grappling game. You know what I'm saying? Grappling defense, grappling offense. For one, he's pretty low to the ground. For two, his lead arm. He in a way punches his lead arm down to get underhooks and helps him sprawl better. It's actually crazy. Like, this guy, he punches in underhooks to help him sprawl. This is crazy, right? And it would be a crime not to bring up his stand-up game, his footwork, his timing, especially his boxing, okay? For such a simple style with such limited arsenal, you know what I'm saying, such a limited set of tools, he is shockingly effective in it, you know what I'm saying? I call this the Sean Strickland paradox, okay? Unlike fighters like Carlos Prates that overwhelm their opponents with a almost unlimited set of tools, all threatening their opponents at the same time, knees, jabs, elbows, hooks, keeps, kicks, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot to think about all at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Sean Strickland does the opposite, okay? He only has a jab and a teep. And Ilia is very similar in that, with the fact that he only has a jab, a hook, and a calf kick, okay? The secret is, well, not much of a secret at all. They master these tools, okay? They completely master these tools, you know what I'm saying? Sean Strickland mastered the teep and the jab. Ilia mastered the fundamentals in an incredible way. With these fundamentals in the striking, paired with his incredible wrestling and his knockout power, it managed to carry him very far in his career, you know what I'm saying? Allowing him to outbox Max Holloway and Volkanovski, who is arguably the greatest kickboxer in the featherweight division, you know what I'm saying? He is undoubtedly a knockout artist. And if this were a pure skill-based matchup, this would be no question on who would win this fight, okay? But this is where the third metric comes into play, folks. Win size matters, okay? Now, there's a saying that size doesn't matter, and it's true to a certain point, at least. Like, if Ilia were against an untrained guy, Josh Hokit sized, it wouldn't be an argument on whether who would win, you know what I'm saying? If you've seen Larry Wheels against that one flyweight, I forgot the video, I forgot the name of the video, but if you've seen it, then you know this is the case. But here's the thing, Josh Hokit isn't just some random, untrained guy after all. He managed to make it in the UFC of all places. But that in itself doesn't completely answer the question. All it does is add a new metric to this equation. When does size plus skill beat skill plus size? So, is it 145 and 170? Is it 145, 185? It may be heavier, maybe 145, 125. At some point, athletic and physical advantage becomes too much. Like, say, 145 versus 265 plus, all right? I mean, the bigger they get, the more durable they are. The harder they hit, the harder a punch that they can take. Ilia Topuria couldn't knock out Josh Emmett. You know what I'm saying? And sure, Josh Emmett has a brick head, all right? I don't want to take away credit from Josh Emmett in saying this, or Ilia Topuria, but it really does make you wonder, you know what I'm saying? Now, Ilia was confirmed to be about 200 pounds recently outside of camp leading up to this coming up fight. And when he was fighting in featherweight, he was like 180, 190. But that still doesn't take away from the fact that he is a small guy. He is only 5'7", all right? He is only 5'7". Josh Hokit, even if he was 200 pounds, Josh Hokit still has a 33-pound advantage. And he's 7 inches taller than him, you know what I'm saying? The size will be too much for him to offensively wrestle, you know what I'm saying? Or effectively offensively wrestle. You can see in the Charles Oliveira matchup, the fight that I just brought up earlier, even though Ilia Topuria did show off his grappling prowess, we did see that Charles' size advantage was a bit too much. While in the clinch, sure, Ilia Topuria did get the better of Charles Oliveira in the grappling exchange. But at the end of the day, it did happen. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, we did see those cracks. We did see those crinkles. We did see the pure physical advantage of Charles Oliveira in the fight. Wrestling will be at a huge advantage to Josh Hokit. Even though Ilia Topuria has been training this his entire life, wrestling will still be at a huge advantage to Josh Hokit. Now, let's hope that Ilia's experience will be enough to survive it. You know what I'm saying? I honestly think that his experience will be enough to survive Josh Hokit's wrestling. So the real question here is Josh Hokit both big enough and skilled enough? So the question here is Josh Hokit both skilled enough and big enough to beat Ilia Topuria? Now that brings me to my next point, the Josh Hokit factor. Alright, now let's go into Josh Hokit's background. Alright guys, as an ex-NFL player, he wasn't good enough to cut it on the field, but he was good enough to get on the field, and that's what we're going to focus on right now, okay? His athleticism, all right? Is football a good base for MMA? Who knows? I don't know. But what we do know is he's fast. He has power. He is very explosive, and compared to other heavyweights in his weight class, this guy's on a different level, okay? Like, quite frankly, this guy's on a different level. Now, if it was all raw strength, he wouldn't get very far in his division, you know what I'm saying? But that's the point. That's the point. This isn't raw strength he's using. He is actually very, very skilled. You know what I'm saying? And that's what really makes him a threat. He is way more skilled than people give him credit for. You know what I'm saying? I get it. He's corny. He's whatever. But he's actually a really good fighter. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, his wrestling background in high school or college. I forget what it was. I think he wrestled in high school or college. And I believe that even if he didn't wrestle in high school or college, he is still an undefeated fighter with wins over Curtis Blades. And he can take a hit. He can take a hit and he can 100% throw one. And when we talk about how much skill a bigger man needs to beat a way more skilled, smaller man like Ilia Topuria, and Josh Hokit is probably the best example for this hypothetical answer. I keep saying this, but I can't stress how much Josh Hokit's speed and power advantage actually makes a difference in this fight, combined with his massive size advantage. And yes, to the untrained eye, a 33-pound weight advantage and a 7-inch height advantage doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, it 100% is. It 1000% is. In conclusion, listen guys, I'm no professional, right? I'm no professional when it comes to this. I'm a predictions guy, right? I'm not, like, if you guys expected me to give you guys like a really good professional breakdown of this thing, I gave you as good of a professional breakdown as I could. This entire time, I'm reading off of a script on Google Docs. I'm like reading this and trying to look at the camera so it doesn't look weird this entire time. I'm sure it does, guys. If you guys have any tips, please leave them in the comments for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm very new to this and I'm trying to get better as I go along. But to wrap this video up, do I think Ilia Topuria could beat Josh Hokit? This is where it gets controversial. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Maybe in a street fight. Maybe in a street fight he had a better chance. But prime for prime, fighting in the Octagon, right? If this is a sanctioned event, you know what I'm saying? It's over. It's over for this guy, okay? Guys, the size advantage is way too much, okay? But again, he's too durable. His chin won't get cracked by one good hit. Maybe 4 or 5 good hits. But Josh Hokit is just going to get too close. He's going to eat the shots. He's going to wrestle Ilia. And if Ilia can't defend, and if Ilia can't defend these submission attempts, then it's over. But listen, guys, I do think Ilia Topuria will defend the subs. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to say he won't. He will 100% defend the submissions, right? But if it were up against any other heavyweight, I'd say this would be a war of attrition. But Josh Hokit isn't just any other heavyweight. He's not going to gas out, okay? When it comes to a smaller guy against a bigger dude, the best advantage he'd have is the cardio, his speed, okay? He can count on out-gassing the guy, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the best way he can win. That is the best way he can win against anyone bigger than you. You know what I'm saying? Out-attrition them. You know what I'm saying? Outdo them in the cardio, all right? And I don't think Ilia's going to do that. I just don't think. In a 5-round fight, I think Ilia's going to gas out himself, you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't stand a chance, you know what I'm saying? Sadly, Ilia just doesn't stand a chance. Now, just because Josh Hokit would win, it doesn't make Ilia Topuria any less of a fighter. In fact, I think if this fight actually did happen, there would be nothing for Josh Hokit to gain. You know what I'm saying? Legacy-wise, career-wise, respect-wise, there would be nothing to gain. This would be like a grown man fighting a kid. You know what I'm saying? If you struggle, you lose credit. You know what I'm saying? If you win, you gain no credit. I mean, come on, a grown man beating a kid. What respect? What is there to gain from it? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of a lose-lose situation. It's a lose-lose situation because if you struggle, you lose all your credit. If you lose all your credit. And if you win, you gain nothing. Cause come on, guys. This guy is 145 pounds, right? This is just, you know what I'm saying? This is like jumping a guy and then bragging about it. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing to brag about jumping a dude. You know what I'm saying? Fake thing, it's more insulting that you had to jump the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's more discrediting that you had to jump a guy compared to fighting him one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is Big 17 from Florida. You know what I'm saying? This is my addiction and money is my company. This is my video. You know what I'm saying? This is my prediction on Ilia Topuria beating Josh Hokit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I'm gonna need you guys' help, you know what I'm saying? I want to make my video quality better, like I said earlier, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't expect me to be really professional, like read out the entire script and memorize it word for word. I'm not doing that, bro. I'm not even getting paid for this, actually. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. That's why I need you guys to get me to 500 subscribers, bro, because I'm making zero money off of this. I'm doing this for the passion. I'm just doing this for the love of the game, bro. This is a crime of passion, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, guys, this is Big 17 from Florida. Peace out.